outer space, in outer space, in outer space, 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 in outer space, in outer space, in outer space.
All right. Welcome to episode 00024 of the Vast Differences Podcast. I'm ThugLife.
And I'm Charity.
And today we're going to talk about Twitter.
Daydreaming.
But first, an advertisement from our sponsor.
This episode of Vast Differences Podcast is brought to you by Charlie Lee. Yes, you heard right. Charlie Lee, founder of the cryptocurrency Litecoin. The Satoshi Light officially endorses the Vast Difference Podcast and all of its views and opinions. Visit Coinbase.com and enter VDPod at checkout to get 0.04 free Ethereum for each Litecoin you purchase.
Ooh.
Offer valid until March 25th, 2018.
That's a really good deal.
Did I say that right? Ethereum?
Yeah, Ethereum.
Ethereum.
You're not into the whole cryptocurrency thing, are you?
I am not. I'm barely into real currency.
What's that rat? Is that the? Oh, that's the wind that you spoke about. It's crazy windy in Korea today.
Oh yeah, it's so windy and it might be picking up on my mic, but my windows are just like rattling constantly. Well, not constantly, but like there'll be sudden gusts of wind and my windows will shake. And fortunately, I'm a very heavy sleeper, so but there were some key points in my dreams last night where there were rattling windows. So that was interesting.
Isn't that crazy when like the sounds in your surroundings incorporate themselves into your dream?
Yeah, that's why I sleep with music, because I get a soundtrack. I told you this.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember one time that I was dreaming that a truck was backing up. It turns out it was just my alarm going off, like the beep, beep, beep in my dream. But here's something freaky. I don't know if this has happened to anybody else besides me, but I've had it where I'm dreaming and a loud crash in real life incorporates itself into my dream, but there was something leading up to happening. For example, I saw somebody swinging a big sledgehammer, and right when the hammer hit was when the thunder crash happened in real life. So how did my sleeping, dreaming brain know that it was about the thunder and make that sound and to sync it up with the visuals of my dream?
I mean, your brain works super fast, right? And your dreams, they go faster than you think. Like, a dream will seem to take all night, but in reality, it was just a few minutes.
Ooh, like in an
And
Inception.
maybe it heard that sound and then very quickly created a scenario for that sound to happen so that it wouldn't interrupt you too much out of your dreaming phase.
Ooh.
So maybe you could keep on dreaming because you think, oh, this sound is coming from my dream, not from outside.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Maybe. I'm not an expert. Take everything I say with a grain of sand. Sandman, sleeping sand.
Excellent. Hold on. Do you know what my favorite band is?
What?
REM.
Who?
REM. REM sleep. Never mind. Do you know what my favorite Metallica song is?
Enter Sandman.
No, nothing else matters. But sleep.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
You are so dorky. I love it.
So your topic for today. Oh, well, just a side note. Special welcome to all the cryptocurrency fans out there that have stumbled onto this podcast via the retweet from Satoshi Light. I'm going to tell you something that somebody told me a long time ago. Not everything in life is handed to you on a Litecoin platter. You remember that.
You look so proud.
I know. I'm so proud. I got retweeted by somebody that has like 10 billion followers.
It's great.
By this transitive property, I am famous at this point.
Yeah, and by the even more transitive properties, so am I. Woohoo! I should get a t-shirt. Transitively popular.
That is a really good t-shirt idea, actually. Why don't we make a Vast Differences t-shirt store?
Yeah, one phrase from each episode. Like one shirt can be like, episode blah, 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 wind sucks. And then episode 24, wind still sucks.
This is a really good idea. I'm going to do this next time I have an hour or two. I'm going to set up an Etsy shop or something online.
Etsy.
bvpod.com/t-shirts. And every single episode, there's a new t-shirt with this thing from that episode. And then we'll know who our true fans are. Are you one of the fans that just listen to every episode? We don't care about you. We don't want you. We only care about fans that
that collect all the t-shirts. We'll be like the Pokemon of podcasts. You gotta collect them all. I say collect them all, even though the phrase is catch them all, because I don't want to be copyrighted infringement.
That's good. We really care about being technically legal correct on this podcast. So does our sponsor, who endorses all of the views and opinions of this Satoshi Light, also cares about being technically legal correct.
Whew. Okay, speaking of dreaming and sleeping and Ram and Enter Sandman, daydreaming. Woo! It's a good topic. I like it. Do you daydream a lot?
Define daydream.
Well, when you're thinking of things while you're awake.
Define a lot.
Or imagining different scenarios, or even like going back through your memories and thinking of different ways that it could have played out.
Yeah, well, actually, I do kind of a really annoying version of that.
Okay.
Right now, I'm really happy, and this never happens. But sometimes in my life, I'll if I'm got some type of interpersonal conflict with somebody, I'll replay disagreement that we had or something like that, and imagine what I could have said. And even worse, sometimes I'll imagine a hypothetical argument I'm going to have with somebody and what they're going to say and what I'm going to say, and I just get totally worked up about absolutely nothing. It's ridiculous.
Welcome to being human. Like, that is such a human thing to do.
I'm not the only one. Okay, that makes me feel better, actually.
You're not the only one. I read forums online and people mention that a lot, and it makes me feel better because, yeah, I think about these hypothetical situations and I get so angry sometimes if I'm thinking of an argument because I'm like, this person, they just keep coming up with other arguments to throw me off, and it's just me thinking of things.
They're in my head.
Or things I could have said, or you could have had such a witty comeback, but you don't think about it until at least 2 days later. And then you look back on that situation and you're like, oh, dang. Man, I could have said that and it would have shut them up for sure. But you don't know if it's for sure because they probably could have said something else because they were apparently more quick-witted than you if they thought about all those funny things to say.
If they were quick-witted with you in the moment, if they've had 2 days, they probably thought about something even more devastating.
Yeah.
Have you ever followed back up with somebody? Been like, hey, by the way, remember that thing you said 4 days ago? Take this. And then you come back.
No, but I have had a moment where I continued a conversation in my mind, but I didn't I forget that they can't hear what's going on in my mind. So did I pick up the conversation where I left off in my mind, which is 10 feet, 10 yards, 10 miles down the road from where we left off. And then they'll be like, what are you talking about? And then I have to explain everything over again. And it's just why couldn't I just said this out loud in the first place? But yeah, daydreaming is fun. I like thinking about, because, okay, my motivation in life is that when I get old and I can't move as much and life becomes boring, or maybe I'm stuck in a wheelchair and I can't do anything. I don't know how it's going to be when I get old. I'm just projecting. But if that happens, the memories I make will be the only things I have. So I want to make some good memories. I already have a ton of memories that I love to just sift through and think about and just go over how it was and just relive that moment over and over. And I like to do that to strengthen those memories so that when I get old and I can't do as much as I can now, I can just look back on my life and be like, yeah, that was a good time. Or just reliving days and being like, oh, today was a fun day, even though I didn't move out of my bed at all. I relived my entire childhood or whatever.
Oh, that's so profound. What a cool strategy to be happy now and to kind of ensure happiness in the future.
Yep. I'm living for the memories I make.
Nice. I'm going to start doing that. That's a cool idea.
Daydreaming helps that a lot because it keeps my mind active. I like to think about things. I'll read something and then I'll make up a whole new scenario about, what would I do in this situation? And I just go off on these daydreams, and it makes the subway rides go by a lot faster. Car rides are non-existent. It's waiting doesn't bother me as much because I can just sink into my mind and just drift off into daydream land.
That's cool. Normally you hear about people it has kind of a negative connotation where people say you have to be present in the moment, be mindful of right now. But everything you just said makes me think, no, it's way better to take some time each day, at least a little bit of time each day, to disconnect from the moment right now and just live a little bit in the past, live a little bit in the future.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Or think about fantasy worlds where you have a superpower. How would you use this superpower? or what would be the limitations of this superpower, or blah, 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 blah. Just like go off on this whole tangent. Have we discussed superpowers here?
No, I don't think so. What would be your superpower?
My superpower, I have two choices. My first superpower that I always chose was to be able to speak every language in the world fluently like a native speaker. But then people started telling me, oh, that's just boring. And I don't think it's boring. I think it's very useful because, like, being able to speak every language, I can go anywhere in the world and hopefully not get killed. But now another superpower that I would like would be teleportation, because then I could just go anywhere and I can just, like, no matter where I be, I can always go home to see my mom or go to Ohio and see my friends and just be like, oh, I'm just popping in for lunch or whatever and go back to my life. What would you choose?
My superpower would be the power to know the answer to the following question. So if you had to choose one, either the superpower to be able to teleport anywhere, but you can't speak or communicate, or the superpower to be able to communicate fluent in every language, but you can only stay in one country, which would you choose?
Luckily, I don't have to answer that because your superpower would be the power to answer that. I could just ask you, which is the correct answer?
I don't have the power yet. So this was going to be like the
Oh,
radioactive spider moment where I got my superpower, but I guess not.
Man, that's a sucky thing. Oh, would you rather is like why does it always have to be negative? Why
That's
can't
true.
it be like,
Okay, I got one.
would you rather
Okay.
eat a cupcake right now or a brownie? And you'd be like, well,
Okay, I got one. Okay, which would you rather have? You can only choose one. Be able to teleport anywhere in the world and not be able to communicate, or be able to teleport anywhere in the world, fluently speak that language, and get free pizza.
okay. Thank you. I will take option number 2, please.
That's a better variation on that game. Anytime somebody does one of these what if questions, I'm going to come back with a, would you like this or this, but better?
Yeah, let's make a positive would you rather. Would you rather win $1 million or would you rather win $1 million and 2 cents?
This reminds me of, I think, the first time, I think this moment, this joke, formed my sense of humor more than anything else. Where in Billy Madison, he's hanging out with all of his drunk friends. I think it's like Norm MacDonald or something. And they were like, this is really vulgar, by the way. Mom, please turn down the podcast right now. I'm not sure if these are the right names, but this was the joke. He said, who would you rather bone, Heather Locklear or Sean Connery? And his friend said, wait, Sean Connery now or Sean Connery 1986? And Billy Madison thought, he's like, 1986. And his friend said, Heather Locklear. The subversive punchline.
Nice. The old bait and switch. Speaking of bait and switch, what was your topic?
It was Twitter, but I just said that because I couldn't think of anything. And I think we've covered enough.
Ooh.
Like, all that stuff you said about daydreaming was profound. We don't need to, like, just bury it under a bunch of nonsense about Twitter right now.
Nope, I can't even listen because what? Charity had a topic and ThugLife didn't. What?
I was busy getting retweeted by people with millions of followers.
Okay, come off that high pedestal. Come down here in the swamp with us people trying to do a podcast. Okay, some people take this podcast seriously. Other people, they get retweeted one time by someone with 1 million followers and they can't come up with a topic for the next episode. How are you going to be retweeted again, ThugLife? Huh? How is this going to be? How are you going to sustain this fame by proxy?
I won't. I'll definitely be dead in 20 years. But you have to make a promise that you'll continue the podcast with the new ThugLife, but without telling anybody. When I die, just get another person and continue to refer to them as ThugLife and have them fill in.
Don't do that for me.
Even if you just get bored and quit, I'm going to get somebody else. Just keep calling them Charity.
No, not Charity. The lesser Charity. The not as cool Charity. Charity number 2. Second place Charity. The unoriginal Charity. The duplicate. The copy. The clone. The follow-up.
Charity 2.0.
No, that means it's better.
Charity negative 2.